Hey, me, Callie Carroll. Good morning, sunshine.
Morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning, sunshines. Daily dose of perspective. Good morning, sweet baby sunshines.
Good morning, sunshines. Let's get started.
Well, hey guys, Callie Carroll here. Good morning, sunshines. We're talking about the seventh floor, which doesn't make sense now, but it's about to make sense in a couple minutes. Until then, though, just comment, say, hey, good morning, sunshine, wherever you're at, whether you're listening or watching in the comments, and then share something that you're grateful for. Actually, write it down. Tell the universe, thank you, thank you, thank you for my hot cup of coffee in the morning. It makes me feel energized, and I just can't imagine my life without it. And when you do that on a continual basis, you'll see how your body and your brain start to connect, this like reroute your brain to feel and find happiness on a regular basis, which is really important when you don't know what sort of life situations you're going to be walking into, kind of similar to what we're going to be talking about today. So go ahead and practice those things. And then let's talk about the seventh floor. Last Friday, I had an endocrinology appointment for Whit and John. And for those of you guys who haven't followed along, Whitten has two rare diseases. One is caused by his LCH, a rare cancer immune disorder, and so that's one of the diseases. The other one, ABPD, is caused by that because there was a tumor in his brain, his pituitary, and your pituitary is really important. I didn't even know what an endocrinologist was before, maybe aside from like people who had diabetes, but most people who have diabetes go to like a different place than the normal endocrine that I know. So I've learned so much about endocrinology over the last 2.5 years, more than I would ever want to know, but actually I'm now very grateful for the knowledge base that's come to me, right? And because of this tumor, we're going to be continually watching Witten. Because in the MRIs, you don't know. There's two halves of your pituitary, the front half and the back half, and we don't know if just one half has been affected so far. The half that has been affected is the one that creates the hormone for him to stop peeing, which is why he'll be on medication forever. And that's just crazy to try to manage this disease, ADP deficiency. But it could lead to other things. So he will always be followed by an endocrinologist. So for everybody who is sending messages like, is everything okay? Yes, everything is okay. It's just going to be a part of our new lifestyle. We are a children's hospital family. That's what we are and what we will always will be. And I didn't expect that walking into life and walking into the chapter of having my fourth baby. Nobody expects it, but sometimes the unexpected happens, and we learn and we grow into that, and we grow strength that we never thought we could before, right? So we'll always be going to endocrinology, and they check for other things. So they check for his growth hormone, they check for his like testosterone, they check for your cortisol levels, and he's growing fantastically, by the way. In fact, he's grown 3 inches since we saw them last. So he was like, if anything, he's kind of growing rapidly, which could be a sign that testosterone, like of having early puberty, which wouldn't be good. So we have to follow and watch for certain things. But I think it's because he's drinking a mad amount of freaking shakes. I mean, this kid, he doesn't eat a lot. The amount of nutrition his body gets is absolutely ridiculous. So appointment's good as it can be, to still try to teach the endocrine team what diabetes insipidus or ADP deficiency really is, because they're only going off book smarts and they don't understand the real life disease. Nor do I think they really care to learn about it, because they're just going to continue to do what the books tell them to do. But aside from that, all is well. So after that, we're like, we come out of the appointment, and the boys had made a couple requests. Quincy wanted to see where Witten barfed. This is the thing. I don't know why it's one of his core memories now. So we go up to the second floor, and we see right where Witten barfed all over, and they're like, awesome, now let's ride the elevators. And so we're doing all this stuff, and I was like, let's go say hi to everybody on the seventh floor. And in Denver, Colorado, Children's Hospital's seventh floor is reserved for all of the oncology and blood disorder patients. So we go up to the seventh floor, and we go in to first like greet the little like the person who greeted us every single time coming to appointments. One of them wasn't there, who's like Witten's like person, Christy. And that was a bummer that we didn't get to see her, but we said, tell her we said hi. And they're like, go in and say hi to everybody. So we go in, and we kind of like do this little tour through the oncology unit. and just get to see all of our nurses and doctors and infusion nurses and people who supported us in this incredible way over the course of a couple years of treatments and his 58 infusions and being in the hospital from Monday through Friday, and then also inpatient during different times, and just like getting to reconnect with them. So they see him and they're just like, what? Like, what? Who's this child? Like, at first, everybody's like trying to put it together. Like, that's Whitten John. I mean, the little bald dude now has wild and crazy, long, spiky, stick straight hair. He's not wearing footy pajamas, which he did for a solid year. He's wearing actual clothes with his pockets turned outside and his pants on backwards and his shoes all messed up because he dresses himself, and that's awesome. And we just got to go through in a state of positivity and health and just walk around and say thank you and just give everybody the opportunity to see each other and see how much he's grown and see how far he's come, which was a really neat experience. And also, as we're doing that, there is this obvious connection that we're walking past these different families, right? They're possibly just starting their journey. They've just gotten their diagnosis. Their world is completely upside down. I know they haven't slept in months and months. They're trying to figure out how do they get all of the vomit out of all of the places. They're trying to figure out how to comfort their person. They're in this like state of, I would say, like, at first you're kind of like in a zombie state when you like surpass some sort of trauma or big thing, right? Like, where you're just like, you're just doing life to like doing the best that you can to try to react to all of the different surprises that you come across and things that you have to overcome. And watching that and just really emotionally and empathetically connecting to the energy. Kids are having fun upstairs. Just ignore it and listen to me. Connecting to the energy of what is on that unit and the floor and where I'm at, and seeing this little girl, like, she's playing with our nurse, and she's like trying to touch all the walls, and just seeing how loving everybody is to each one of them. And there's laughter in some rooms, and just quiet parents just sitting reading while their child sleeps in other rooms, and other ones the kids are actually like actively playing or watching a movie, and some people even walking around with their infusion poles because they feel good enough to do that. And it's like this gut check, and this reality of life, that people are in different phases of their life. People are in different phases of their trauma and their joy and their growth and their twists and turns, and just acknowledging that and getting to really connect to the gratitude for where you're at, especially for where we're at. We're walking through healthily. And what was really neat about that as well, you guys, is that those families that saw us getting to like celebrate, or like we're taking pictures with the bell, and people, families are walking by and like, that's your bell, Whitten John. He's like standing up there. He's like, take my picture, mom. And that's where we took the picture when you had your big parade. The other family is getting to see this hope in this little child, this little boy with all this hair who's wearing clothes, who has gone through it and come out on the other side, who is now NAD. And it gives them hope, even though they're currently in a state of trauma, they get to see the hope on the other side. So it's positive for all of us to have this experience. And then it just like, it really had me connect to that first day where we went into the hospital to have Whitten's water deprivation test, because we didn't know anything at that point. And when I was walking in, I just was like looking around the hospital, like just my heart fell. It just, for all of these children's hospital families, is what my like quote around my, this, wow, like you can see, like they're children's hospital families. They have babies. They're having to overcome something as traumatic as their child being sick or injured or unable to do certain things or have certain different productions of their body. And you see them, and they're tired and they're weary, and they've been wearing the same clothes, you can see, for multiple days, and their faces are worn, and they've got the hospital bracelets on. You could tell who the children's hospital families were. They knew where they were going. They know every floor. They know where all the break rooms are, and where you can go get the little massage if you need to, and where you can just check out in a corner. And you see people like crying in different areas or celebrating and doing their best to like bring joy to the families that are around them. And as I walked in, and I was like, wow, these children's hospital families, like my heart goes out to them. And then a week later, we walked out one of those children's hospital families that I was like, okay, wow, we are forevermore. We are this. This is us forevermore. And that was a really big, like, twist in our chapter, right? Like in our life story, it's like this, not, I don't want to say it was a pivot. It was just like a, like, this is what you guys get to persevere through, because it will never be anything but. And I think something that's so special about connecting to this message today is that we all we all have pivotal moments in our lives. Maybe it's not being a children's hospital family or knowing what the seventh floor is, but we have these pivotal moments that might not have felt that great to go through, but you did grow through, right? You had to go through, but you grow through in order to come out on the other side, hopefully having a newfound perspective of not only your life, but the lives of others around you. So while I can't empathize with all of the different things and trauma that you've experienced, and the chapters and the twists and the turns and the, like just any of the surprises that you were like, that altered my life. It doesn't have to be childhood cancer, you guys. Like this occasion altered the course of my life, and you've got to go through that, and you've got to grow through that. I might not be able to empathize with all of those different things, but each one of us does have our growth story, and each one is important, and each one is a part of us. And for us to be able to connect to our story, review our perception, focus on the positive side of things, focus on the growth that we've got instead of the loss or the things that will never be the same, right? Adjust where we're spending our time and energy, as well as, like we did on Friday, be able to go and empathize in different ways of just, I couldn't do anything but walk around and send light, and then like light and love to the rooms, which is what I do, right? Like we grab a coffee and I'm just praying for every family that's in there. I'm not opening, you don't do this to children. You're not opening up doors. You're not waving at people, talking, like it's a very private, very secure, everything's very clean. But I am praying for every family as I walk past. I'm praying for their strength. I'm praying for their healing. I'm praying for their joy, for their perception, and for their faith. And I just pray into them as much as I can. And then try to be, now that we're on this other side of our journey, be this light, be this side where we get to like take this stand of what is possible even through traumatic experiences. And that really it connected with me. I hope that it would connect with you in any of the different twists, turns, trauma, whatever you want to call it, life altering moments that you've experienced, and hope that can impact you in a certain way. You know what I have been doing at the end of Good Morning Sunshine, or our daily dose of perspective? By the way, guys, is that confusing to anybody else? It's like I've done Good Morning Sunshine, which is how I greet everybody in the beginning of every single time I do a live video. But also I was just thinking about how really my focus is perspective, parenting, and positivity. So I was like, I'm just gonna give a daily dose of perspective around those things. And we're all still Good Morning Sunshining, right? So, but I used to always give people an action step at the end, so that hopefully a lot of times when we're in a learning phase, or we're like, I'm gonna jump on and listen to a podcast or listen to a video, then you just step away from it and you don't change anything. It's like, okay, cool. You forget about it 10 minutes later. Like, what was she saying about perspective? I don't really remember. But if you can take the information and walk away, excuse me, getting over this, that's from Parents Weekend, I think. So if you can take that and you can walk away and do something with it, then you can often connect to it more. So let's just have what can we do from here? And what I would say is two different opportunities. One is, if you know right away that you connected to what I was saying about your trauma or life altering or life changing, like time, if you know what that is, to reconnect with yourself and your perception of the situation, okay, wherever you're at in your journey, and see if you can bring any joy to the people that are around you, even if it's just by praying for someone. So maybe you went through a divorce that was really challenging for you, and somebody else going through a divorce right now. Maybe you don't have to reach out to them, even just like pray for them. So really, from your own experiences, doing what you can to try to positively support others who are going through. And the other thing, I forget. I forget because I talk so much. I was like, this, oh yeah, this and this, but now I forget. So guess what? We're done with Good Morning Sunshine today. If you're committed to doing either one of those things, which was one thing, was spreading light and love to people that are going through the same thing that you went through or that you're going through right now, then you just say, I'm committed to doing that. We used to do this all the time. And that's all I have for you guys. Good morning, sunshines. Thank you for joining me. And don't forget, the perspective reveals the miracles. Love you guys. Bye.
Thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe and, of course, share with your friends. Guys, that's how we impact more lives.